Hey friends, welcome back to the channel, Marine on Time Watch Reviews. I'm Chris. I unbox and review budget watches like this beauty. This is my favorite brand, Timex, and this is the Timex Expedition Scout. Oh, what a beauty of a watch. Fantastic budget watch. And hint, this one will be featured in a video very soon. Now, an interesting one for you today. I did a video on why YouTubers use AliExpress watches. And today I am highlighting my very first watch as an AliExpress influencer. Ooh, what does this mean? It means that this watch is free. So you saw the includes paid promotion. I'm actually at influencer level 1 and I got $35 or $45 of seeding money to purchase a watch. I do a video on the watch and depending on how it does, I get some more seeding money and it might get to a point where I can buy some more expensive watches. So I had to find something that was decent for $45. Now that's Canadian dollars, so we're talking, just around the 33, 34 US dollars, and I found a really good one. The Addies Dive military watch. It's a quartz watch. It's an entry-level watch. I think for the money, it's fantastic, and I am proposing that Addies Dive is one of, if not the best value for dollar spent brand right now on AliExpress. So we're going to go up close and personal with the watch that I have for you today, and then we'll talk about it some more. Here it is, the up close and personal of this watch. This is the Addies Dive military watch. Enjoy. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the up close and personal, and do stay tuned to the end of the video. My concluding remarks, I want to talk about my plans for being a part of this AliExpress influencer program. It really isn't going to be all about me. I want to make it about you, the viewer. So stay tuned for details about that. Addies Dive package all of their, or most of their watches, at least the ones that I have experienced in these Pelican-style cases, I guess they call them. And I actually think they're quite awesome, especially for traveling. You can pack a couple of watches, so it comes packaged inside of basically like a small Ziploc bag. And here it is. And what we are talking about, guys, is a watch that is around 34 US dollars. And so we have to tame our expectations, but I think for $34, you are getting quite an amazing watch. So here are the basic specifications. The price currently is 34 US dollars. Affiliate link, of course, in the description. The model number is MY-050S. Now this is a larger watch. It's got a case size of 45 millimeters, a lug width of 22 millimeters, a thickness of 14 millimeters. Now that's just from the case back to the top. When you include the NATO strap, it's 16.8 millimeters, and the lug to lug is 51 millimeters. Comes supplied on this nylon NATO style strap. I chose the khaki green. There are a couple of other options, and there is actually also a stainless steel bracelet option for the same price. So I would say, though, to be honest, get it on the nylon NATO. I can't imagine for $30 that the bracelet is going to be any good. I would be shocked if anyone has this watch on the bracelet, or if you've seen reviews of it on the bracelet. Let me know in the comments below, and let others that are maybe watching this know as well via the comments. So this is obviously a homage watch, as most AliExpress watches are. This is homaging a Luminox watch, and again, for the price point, I think this is actually a pretty good watch. And so let's just zoom in here. What we have is a case material, which is alloy. And so again, for $34 US, alloy is, I would say, expected. Now the case back is screwed down, and it is a stainless steel case back, but the case is alloy. And the crown and the bezel, they're coated with something, and I don't know if it's alloy, and then there's coating. It feels like plasticky, I should say. Even the crown does. There is some Addies Dive logo branding on the crown as well, and just a polished, kind of a mirror polish, although it's just alloy. But you get a mirror polished look on the case profile. It does have, one of the things for the price point that I think is impressive is it does have a rotating bezel. I have had watches at this price point, including an Invicta I highlighted on the channel not overly long ago, that had a bezel, but it was just a fixed bezel, and that Invicta cost more than this watch does. Now, the bezel itself is 60 click. I'll let you listen to it. It's not overly tight. It's got like a spring-loaded click, so it's just 60 click. The good thing is it does line up. Now, there is some bounce back on this as well, and I think that, for the price point, again, can be expected. And you'll see it just kind of springs right back. And so even though there is a little back play, it doesn't stay there. It springs right back. So it's got some sort of a spring-loaded mechanism inside the bezel. And the fact that it rotates, the tolerances to the case or to the crystal are good. There's a slight wobble there. But again, for the price point, you can't expect the moon, can you? And it does line up quite nicely. Military style watch, so it's got a really cool aesthetic to it. Now, all of the numerals, the minute track, the Addies Dive logo, they're all printed on the dial. And then it has these, what they are making to look like tritium tubes, I'm assuming, on the 5-minute markers. Now, they are Lume filled, and we'll check out the Lume shot in just a moment. It's just a quartz watch. The crown engagement is, it's okay, not the greatest. For turning the hour and the minute hand, it's pretty good in that regard. But where it is a little bit tricky is just getting to the first click for the date window. And let's see here. Yeah, there it goes. So that first click is it's kind of tricky to find, but it does have a date window, and it does work. And so, what can I say about this watch, guys? It's got a bit of heft to it as well. And it is large, as I said. It is a shame that they didn't make it for, an ideal size would be a little smaller, but it does fit really nicely on my 7.5-inch wrist. And one of the things that makes these Addies Dive watches stand out is is the Lume. Now this only has 5 atmospheres, or is it 3 atmospheres? Let's zoom in and let's take a look at here. It says water resistant. I believe it's 5 atmospheres, so it is waterproof, rainproof a little bit. And if you have a look at that crystal, which is just a mineral glass crystal, there is some blue AR coating on it, which is, again, for the price point, also nice to have. It's really quite impressive for the price. There are some likes and gripes that I have about the watch, as always, but let's first of all discuss the Lume, because that is the standout hit, other than if you like the Luminox look. The Lume is just absolutely fantastic. So I'll put the Lume up now. We'll get to a time lapse in a moment. First of all, we'll take a look at the Merly Lume spectrometer. And so if you want to pause this, you can real quick, but it just gives you an idea of what my opinion of the Lume is based on how long it lasts on the time lapse. So let's zip through this now, and you will see that this is verging on a really fantastic Lume. It really starts to fade between the 20 and 25 minute mark, but it's still visible at the 25 minute mark on the time lapse. And once it hits that 30 minute mark, it starts to fade. So guys, fantastic Lume on this watch. Okay, likes and gripes, guys, and let's just talk about what I like. I'm thinking overall value for dollar spent. This is a fantastic package, $34 US, and so the price is quite amazing for this watch. Given what you get a rotating bezel, you get incredible Lume on a watch for $34. The strap on it is quite nice for the price point. It feels nice. It feels like it's decent quality. It certainly feels better than the Pagani design NATO straps that I have gotten in some of their packages. And so overall, the aesthetic, how it looks, I mean, the price, the value for dollar is absolutely amazing. The gripes of the watch, and honestly, it's something that, you know, you have to gripe about every watch, but that back play on the bezel, and there is a little bit of wobble on the bezel as well to the crystal. It's not, I've seen worse, but that could be tightened up quite a bit. And speaking of tightened up quite a bit, this NATO strap, this is probably the biggest gripe. This NATO strap, just where they have the lug holes for this bracelet, I think if you took this off, the watch, I mean, it is on there. It is tight. And I think if you took that off, you would be hard pressed to push this strap back through. And you can kind of see just how tight, look how tight that NATO strap is to the lug. So that's the biggest gripe about the watch. And I would say the crown engagement as well. It is a little tricky to get to the date position to change the date. The actual crown itself feels decent when you're adjusting the time, but it is a little bit tricky to get to the date. You can actually feel 2 minor clicks instead of just one there. And so yeah. So I mean, obviously for a $34 watch, even those gripes aren't really much to complain about. But let me talk about this whole influencer program and what my plans are as I close this out. So guys, that's it. That's the Addies Dive military style watch. I think for $34, it's fantastic. And honestly, it's one of those watches where, as a watch enthusiast myself, I probably wouldn't buy, but it is a great gift watch. It would be a fantastic watch to get somebody into the hobby, or maybe a watch that would be good for someone that hasn't worn a watch in a long time. I have a coworker that I am going to give this watch to tomorrow. Actually, he's not in tomorrow. I'm going to give it to him on Thursday. Now, one thing I want to do with this influencer program is not make it about me. per se, and making, getting free watches and selling the watches. I'm going to give away quite a few of the watches that I get as a part of the influencer program. And I really want to get watches that you are interested in having reviewed, and honestly reviewed. There are some hiccups with this watch, and as to be expected for a $34 watch, but overall the package is pretty good. But I want to get my hands on some more watches, and as I grow in influencer levels, I'm at level 1 now. Once I post this video, I go to level 2, and I think depending on how it does, I'll get another $40 or $50 as seeding money to purchase another watch. It's not until level 3 or 4 that I'm going to be able to get into watches that might cost over $100. And once I get to level 5, well, then I could get some watches that are, I could get some San Martin watches, for example, some of the more expensive ones in AliExpress. And some I will probably sell in order to make a little bit of money. But for the most part, I want to give a lot of these away. And so I'm giving this one away, not as a part of an online giveaway, but to a coworker, because he doesn't wear a watch and he needs to. And so anyways, I'm going to be giving this one away. I plan on doing that with a lot of the watches that I do receive, and I want to get watches in that you want to have reviewed. And so if there's a watch that you're looking to have looked at, we're talking around the $50 mark at this point is probably what I'll be able to get. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to do it. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in to another Merely on Time Watch Reviews. Like and comment, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm at 4,200 and something. I really want to get to 5,000 by the end of this year, and with your help, I'll be able to do it. Remember, whenever you leave your house, you need to have a great looking piece to wear in your wrist, like this Addies Dive military style watch. And remember, wherever you're going, you need to get there on time. God bless you guys. See you in the next one.